The best of Money Matters. The Hot Seat.
Welcome to The Hot Seat, a debate segment where ideas clash and insights spark. I'm your host, Hongbin Jeong. Now, with gym memberships, YouTube workouts, and fitness apps more accessible than ever, some argue that personal trainers are unnecessary. But others insist that expert guidance, structure, and accountability are the keys to long-term fitness success. Therefore, the question of the day is, do you need a personal trainer to stay fit here in Singapore? So what's the truth? Are personal trainers an essential investment in health, or just an expensive luxury? Well, before we hear from our guests and dive deeper into this debate, here's a disclaimer. The views and arguments presented by our interviewees do not necessarily reflect their personal beliefs or opinions. Instead, they're here to provide a fresh perspective on the topic at hand. Well, joining us today is Davin Choo, who is a fitness influencer from Davin Choo Fitness, and he will be defending the need for a personal trainer in order to stay fit. And on the other hand, we have Cheng, who is also a fitness influencer and co-founder of Caliversity, who will be sharing with us why a personal trainer is actually not needed. Welcome to the show both.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Maybe to just start off with, our conversation here. Both of you have come a very long way in terms of your fitness journey. So, would you like to share what exactly is your idea of fitness? Maybe we could start off with Davin.
Right. I think fitness to me is not just physical fitness. Mm-hmm. It involves nutrition fitness, nutrition knowledge also. Mm-hmm. Also lifestyle, I would say, in a more holistic approach. Mm-hmm. When I look at fitness and I coach my clients, I take a more holistic approach. Mm-hmm. So not just the physical fitness aspect, but also nutrition knowledge, stress, and also how everything fits together to improve their life in general.
Cheng Wee?
I think there's many ways to define fitness. I think some may think of it as health, lifestyle. I think the younger generation these days would think of it more towards looking better, whether is it physical attractiveness or such. I think, to me, fitness would be defined as discipline. I think when I see someone who is fit, I think of him as someone who is disciplined. I strongly believe that someone's level of fitness is a direct reflection of his level of discipline as well, because when you look at this person and you see he has this fit body, you would first have to think, how long did it take for him to put in the work consistently in order to achieve this? Yeah. Fair
enough. Well, okay, Davin, you're on the side that personal trainers are truly necessary, right? So if personal trainers are truly necessary, why do so many people stay fit without one, despite knowing what Singapore is like?
I think first, before we say that there are people out there, we have to consider their lifestyle and the point of life they are at. So just for a little bit of context, most of my clientele are working professionals. Okay. So to be honest, the priority, fitness isn't their top priority. So I do have to reconcile that because they do juggle with, work, family, social life. So my job there as a personal trainer, or I would say like a coach, is to really reduce the time for trial and error. And also, there are people that really are interested in fitness, and I am interested in fitness myself. I will take the time to go and research, to find out what's the best fitness plan, what nutrition that will best fit my goals. But there are people out there that, priority, they have bigger priorities to them. And then for example, taking care of kids. I have clientele that have a new kid, and then fitness, researching about the best workout plan isn't the top of their list. So my job then is to come in, assess their situation, what are they working with, how do I best get them to their results in the most efficient time as possible with as little distraction to their lifestyle.
Right.
I can't expect them to, work out 5 times a week and then, abandon their kids growing up, right? So that's my job right there.
Okay. Well, Cheng Wee, you heard there from Davin. He works with a lot of people who doesn't really have fitness as a top priority. They're working professionals, they're parents. So with Singapore's fast-paced work culture here, isn't it hard to stay consistent in fitness without a personal trainer to provide, structure and accountability?
I think this is something that we hear very often, especially in Singapore. I think it's very easy to say, I need to go to my work. I work 9 to 5 every day. By the time I have no time to train in the morning, and by the time I get home, I'm very, very tired. I don't have enough energy to put in to train. And I think sometimes you have to look whether is this an internal or external problem, because if you agree that, the work or the fast-paced culture is the issue, then wouldn't that mean that everyone is out of shape? Yeah, so actually this was something I said myself as well when I first joined my line of work. Then my manager, who was someone who's super disciplined, he just told me this, like, wake up earlier and 99% of your problems will be solved. And I was like, what do you mean? So, and I did. So back then, I think I was struggling to even keep 2 to 3 workouts per week. But just by waking up earlier, he wakes up at 5 a.m. every day, by the way. He goes for a 5 km run, does his pull-ups and push-ups, whatever. Yeah, I did that as well. And yeah, I just started training in the morning, wake up at 5, train at 6. Got it out of my way before the day started. And I think that really solved everything. So I don't think it's about the fast-paced work culture. I think it's about your time management.
Oh, time management. I mean, it is a problem for everyone, right? So when it comes to fitness, I understand that there's, actually some knowledge needed in order to know how to exercise effectively, especially if you're heading to the gym and it's your first time there and you have no idea how to use some of the machines. It can be overwhelming. But Davin, with how easy it is just to do a quick Google search, right, about it, for example, types of exercises to lose weight, why should people spend money on hiring personal trainers when we could do our own research for free?
Right. So definitely in this time, right, we definitely have tons of resources. And I think that could be an issue also because there are so much resources and so much knowledge out there. People, they are not able to filter out what is misinformation and what is actual information. I think that's one issue. I think that's coming from someone who is interested in fitness. So they could actually find the time to go and Google research, Google fitness.
Right.
But if you are coming someone that totally have no knowledge about fitness, you do not know what you don't know.
Right.
So you actually don't know, like, a lot of the stuff that might seem basic to us or like people experience in fitness might be something that, haven't crossed the mind of beginners. So as a coach itself, I also had one of this problem where I used to assume people, my trainees, would know like simple knowledge. What does a bicep curl do? You train a bicep, right? But there are people that honestly doesn't know, and they are not able to Google it themselves. So I think we should just take a step down and then look in the perspective of someone that is totally clueless.
Right.
So if you ask me about a topic that I am totally clueless of, I wouldn't be able to give you because I don't know where to start. So my job as a personal trainer or a coach is to give them the first entry point and also not to create that dependency on the coach, because in the end the training can't be with me forever.
Right.
So my job is to equip them with the knowledge, really educate them, finding interesting ways to get them learning about fitness themselves, and then set them for long-term success instead of going there and just count reps for them and then, they clock in, clock out. That's not my role. I think as personal trainers, we need to think bigger and further for the greater good of the client.
Right. I mean, especially when you're heading to the gym, right, and you're doing squats, you can easily search up how to do a squat online, but obviously, your form is super crucial. If your back is too bent, you can have injuries, right?
Yes.
So a personal trainer would be there to guide you in that first formation and, teach you exactly how to do it properly. But still, having said that, I mean, going about things alone might cause more harm than good, especially when it comes to health and fitness. So, Cheng, how can we trust the content that we see online? I mean, there have been scandals where famous fitness YouTubers were promoting the wrong thing online, clickbaiting viewers such as fast ways to get a six-pack. I do remember during COVID times, there were a lot of fitness, YouTubers who were coming and on trend, and people were trying to copy them. And there were comments, I believe, from actual personal trainers saying that these are not, you can't just get a six-pack in 6 weeks, So wouldn't a personal trainer's guidance help ensure that things do go well?
Okay, I 100% agree that actually a personal trainer would help, but whether it's needed or not, I think it's not necessarily. I believe that actually the abundance of information online can be a very, very big leverage if you know how to use it to your advantage. If anything, something that I like to tell some of my friends who ask about this kind of online information is that if 9 out of 10, let's say, fitness influencers mention the same thing, of course, with the right reasoning, if someone would tell you that the best way to train your biceps is to go for a 5 km run, and you really think that the issue shouldn't lie with the influencers, but it's more of your logical thinking and reasoning. Yeah, but I think if you actually look further into most of how people actually reason what they say online, and the public feedback about it, because right now with things like Instagram, YouTube, whichever, there are comment section for you to see what people say about it. When things are really, really not true, people do voice out nowadays. They won't leave it be and say that, yeah, this person is just telling me like everything I want to hear. I can get a six-pack in like 30 days. So it's very easy to pick such content out these days, I feel.
I see. Well, since we're on Money FM 89.3, let's talk about money here. I mean, usually a personal trainer can be costly. I've been there, I've done that. According to my research, there are some training packages here that cost like $180 for 3 sessions, or it could be even up to $100 per session. So, Davin, since personal trainers can be expensive in Singapore, wouldn't that money be better spent on gym access, healthy food, or other fitness resources?
Definitely. So I think what the money actually being, it's also, you have to consider the time being saved, researching fitness, actual fitness knowledge, going around and I think saving the time on trial and error. So that's also, for me, the cost involved. It's not just within the gym itself. It's also including nutrition guidance, lifestyle guidance. How do I work out yourself outside? So the client is not tied to me like 3 times a week. I can basically train them once a week and then they can do their own workout outside by their own, for twice a week, additional twice a week. So they don't need to pay me like 3 times, 4 times a week for a good workout. Also, that said, I definitely believe that financial responsibility is important. So if engaging a personal trainer is going to cause you financial stress and it's going to overstretch your budget, and that my take is, please do not hire me. Right. Because I do not want you to lose sleep over whether you are able to pay me for a training session. So I myself provide a lot of free content on my social media, and there are still people looking for me. So there are people that they are able to afford my training sessions to save the time given. And before I sign with a client signs with me, I would make very clear to them, very transparent with what is the expected investment at what time range. Are you comfortable with this price range? Are you comfortable with this amount before signing with me? Because the last thing I want is you affecting your financial health, and then you can't buy food, it causes you stress, and it's going to affect your workout with me ultimately.
Right. Well, as Davin mentioned there, it will save time, right, with your trial and error. So if you were to, have a goal of your fitness journey and wouldn't you want to start right with a personal trainer and pay that fee? I mean, like Davin has mentioned earlier in our conversation that, he doesn't expect to have all these clients forever, right? It's just for that time being in the beginning. So wouldn't it be worth it?
I 100% agree that actually a personal trainer, based on what Davin said as well, a personal trainer would definitely save time. At the same time, I think if money is no longer an issue, then it would really depend on your priorities.
Right.
If you are someone who values time and say that, hey, I want the fastest way possible to get to where I want to be in terms of my fitness goals, then by all means do hire a personal trainer. It's like having a consultant in any field you are in. But if you are not looking for a time-efficient way to get there, but rather you are looking for something different, you value the process of discovery and maybe self-exploration in terms of the area of fitness, because I myself do calisthenics. It's not, I would say it's something different outside from just gymming, because gymming would just be equipments and just performing the movements. But in my area of what I do, we have muscle-ups, handstands, something that's more different and gives something for others, correct, yeah. It gives something for others to actually think of, how do I get past this stage to actually achieve what I want. Yeah, so there really is that aspect, and when you think of it, when you look at it these 2 ways, it's really down to what are you looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, so supposedly, let's say an individual does get a personal trainer. There's going to be a lot of things to break down, such as fitness plans, weight and training goals, etc. And then you will have to both work together in order to achieve those goals, right? Davin, how do you explain that, personal trainers are essential when those clients sometimes end up failing to meet their expected goals?
Before we actually start the training session, what I usually do is really understand their situation. Figure out why do they want to sign up with me, what's their expected goal, what's their expected timeline,
right?
And then what's their current lifestyle, because if you are dad, we have a baby boy, you have to wake up like 3 a.m. to feed him every day, and you're kind of limited with how many times you can work out. of course, the time frame will be slightly longer. Using that, then I would then break it down to the client to make sure that he understands that it will take a little bit longer or it will be a little bit more challenging for them. And they will 100%, most of them would just, they will know, they will understand that them being limited by their situation, they do expect a little bit longer of a time frame. What I don't agree is with trainers that, paint a rosy picture and then promise them,
a six-pack by 6
we
weeks.
can get correct. Like by 8 weeks, we're going to change and transform you totally. Because for me, I believe in a more holistic approach to fitness. Like what Cheng has said, fitness is not just about looking good; it's about self-discovery. I have a lot of clients that after 1 month they started to enjoy working out. Previously they don't. So and then that fits into their habit, their lifestyle. You're not forcing them; they're actually doing it themselves. And with your guidance, results are even faster.
Right.
So it's not about setting like we have to achieve this in 8 weeks or 4 weeks. It's more about the molding of character. How can fitness really supplement or improve your lifestyle? And then at the end of our training time frame, my end result for them, it's they see the benefits of strength training, fitness. And it's not just physical, but also mental, psychological. And it basically improves their quality of life.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can continue themselves after.
Yeah, and then it
after
becomes a
ending.
habit. Right.
So this is just spreading the message of fitness.
I see. Well, let's flip this around as well. Given that personal trainers do provide tailored fitness programs like Davin, Cheng, isn't it inefficient for individuals to use generic workout plans to stay fit? I mean, what is to say that all workout plans it's not, one fits all kind of situation, right?
I think that it's not one fit all, but most generic workout plans actually, in fact, do help the majority of the people.
Okay.
I think in most cases, the issue today wouldn't be a generic workout plan, but rather people who try to specialize their workout plan in their own ways, that in the end becomes counterproductive. Because most times the ones that actually think that you look up information online and you see something that looks very interesting and you say, I think that is very useful for me, but you don't have a reason why, but it's just because someone said it. And then you just proceed to I think I should throw that in my workout. And you keep on adding and adding and adding. And suddenly your workout is just packed with a whole load
Fluff.
of... Yeah, exactly. And you don't know what's going on, but you're like, all these are good for me.
Right.
Yeah, so it ended up being very, very counterproductive. And if anything, when I first started gymming as well, I followed a very, very standard workout split. For those who are already gymming, it's a push-pull leg split. And that is one of the most common split that you hear today. And it 100% works for me, even though I was already into fitness, I think by 7-8 years worth of experience. Yeah, and it still works for me when I first started hitting the gym. So if anything, there is pros to having a tailored workout program. I think for people who needs to work around certain limitations, such as injuries or maybe certain muscle group being tighter and not being able to perform certain exercises, then yes, that's where tailored workout program from a personal trainer can become very, very useful. But if otherwise, I think most generic workout plan actually is pretty helpful to the mass public.
I see. Okay, well, to wrap up our conversation here, I mean, when it comes to having a personal trainer, a lot of people would opt to get a personal trainer because they want to be disciplined, motivated. Davin, how can, having a personal trainer keep you motivated and keep you disciplined?
Right, I think maybe I use me as example for my clients. For people that they are not into fitness, I'm there at first, to provide accountability. So, and also to provide, I look at myself as more of like a mentor, as a coach, to guide them, to educate them through the different exercises, what to eat, what really supports, what nutrition support your fitness goals. It's more of education and knowledge sharing, so they understand the rationale behind certain concepts, and then they are able to fit that into their lifestyle. I think once you know the rationale behind why you do certain exercises or why do you eat certain food, how do you plan your food, why do you need to sleep early, you will then see the bigger picture, and then you will see how it actually improve your quality of life, and then from there you are able to then you practice those habits. Because I'm not there to make sure that you don't eat junk or you do your workouts, because I can't be there 24/7. It's much more efficient if I share the knowledge and then explain to them, of course in a way that they find interesting, that is personalized to their situation. So an example is, if I'm working with a working professional, because I used to be corporate also, so I'll use their term. You know, for example, if you have to, people ask like, what do you need to lift heavier weights? An example I like to use is, you get promoted and then you get more experience. You are being tasked with more responsibilities and bigger projects. It's kind of like that. So they understand from analogies, like they understand the concept of fitness and strength training. You make it personalized to them, and then they were able to fit into your lifestyle. So I think as a personal trainer, it's not just to dare to count reps or make sure you do your exercises.
Yeah, you sound like a very fun fitness trainer, Davin. Okay, well, Cheng, to wrap this up as well, you mentioned discipline is what you define as fitness. So how can one stay fit and stay disciplined and motivated without a personal trainer?
I think it's mainly finding real purpose and reason behind why you want to start your fitness journey in the first place. If your whole idea is I just want to look good, I want to have a six-pack, then sometimes you must question, is this strong enough? Because there are many times where people go to a personal trainer and say that I want to cut down to look good for my wedding shoot. And after the wedding, they bounce back even further from where they first started. And then they are no longer back to where they are at their peak. Then you must question whether is this sustainable or not. Because if you're just doing this for a short-term thing, then you have to understand that, it's just going to be a short-term project. But if it's going to be something long-term, you have to like it and you have to find a way to integrate it into your lifestyle. That something sustainable doesn't make you have to go too far off track or something too intense that you start to hate it. And I also think that makes the difference between a good and a great personal trainer would be that a great personal trainer would then know how to teach his client how to actually have a sustainable training plan to fit into his lifestyle, such that the moment he ends that 12-week, 24-week program, I can go off on my own and have a plan that actually suits my lifestyle without the need for an external help.
Well, some great insights from both of you. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've been speaking to Davin Choo, fitness influencer and founder of Davin Choo Fitness, and Cheng, who is also a fitness influencer and co-founder of Caliversity. Thank you for all those who tuned in live on air. Tune in again next week for another Hot Seat. I've been your host, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.